Stop. Pay attention. Before you place your next trade, I need you to watch something. This is the moment right before most traders lose everything. Not some of it, everything. It's not a bad ticker, it's not bad timing, it's not even a bad strategy. It's this number right here. And what's wild is that most traders don't even know this is the reason they blow up. They blame the market, they blame their broker, they blame bad luck. Luck has nothing to do with it. I've been studying traders for years, profitable ones, blown up ones, and the ones who get right to the edge of profitable, then self-destruct. And what I found is this: the difference between a trader who survives versus one who doesn't, it almost never comes down to their strategy. Profitable strategies are actually pretty common. If you've been trading for more than 6 months, there's a good chance you've already stumbled onto something that works. So why are you still losing? Because a profitable strategy in the hands of someone who can't manage their capital is still a losing account. Today I'm going to show you the exact framework that separates the traders who build accounts from the ones who burn through them. But before I get to the rules, I want to show you something that almost nobody talks about. There's a mistake that's quietly bleeding your account right now, and it's not a bad trade. It's not even a trade at all. It's a pattern, and once I show it to you, you're going to see it everywhere. We'll get to that in about 3 minutes. But first, let me show you how accounts actually die. Here's what nobody tells you about blown accounts. It's never one trade. Not ever. It's always a sequence. It starts with a loss, which is fine. Losses are part of trading. Every profitable trader loses, frequently. But then something happens in your brain. You don't accept the loss. You personalize it. You start thinking, the market owes me that back. So you size up. You take a bigger position because now you're not trading your system. You're trading your ego. And if that trade goes wrong, and statistically, forced revenge trades almost always go wrong, you're now in a spiral, down 5%, then 10%. Then you make one big bet to get it all back. And now you're down 20% in a single session. I've seen traders go from a great week to a blown account in 48 hours because they didn't have capital management rules. They had capital management intentions. There's a massive difference. Okay, pause. This is the part of the video where most people start scrolling. Their brain thinks it already knows what's coming. It doesn't. What I'm about to show you isn't a generic 1% risk rule you've heard before. It's the architecture behind that rule, and why most people who know the rule still blow up anyway. Rule 1. Never risk more than 1% of your account on a single trade. Now, I know you have heard this before, so let me tell you why people who know this rule still violate it. It is because they confuse position size with risk. Risk is not how many shares you own. Risk is how much you lose if the trade goes against you. Confusing the two is the fastest way to zero. If you have a $10,000 account and you buy $5,000 worth of stock, but your stop is only 2% below entry, your risk is $100, that is fine. But if you buy $2,000 of stock and you do not set a stop, your risk is unlimited. You must think in terms of dollar risk per trade. Step 1. Determine your stop loss in dollar terms. Step 2. Calculate 1% of your current account value. Step 3. Your position size is whatever gets your stop to equal that 1%. If your stop is 50 cents below entry, then you take 200 shares. If your stop is $1 below entry, you take 100 shares. Simple math, consistent results. I want to tell you about a trader I watched closely. He had a $15,000 account. He was profitable, genuinely good at reading setups. His win rate was over 60%. One afternoon, he got into a trade that started going against him. Instead of stopping out at his planned level, he decided this was a special situation. He sized up instead. The trade continued against him. He added again. By the end of day 2, he had $0. Not $5,000, not $3,000, zero, $15,000, gone. Because he broke this one rule once. That is how fast it happens. And that is why this is not a guideline. It is a law. Learn it, or the market will teach it to you the hard way. Rule 2, you need a hard daily stop. This is the rule that separates professional traders from retail traders. You pick a number, 2% of your account or 3 losing trades, and when you hit it, you are done for the day. No exceptions. Close the platform. Walk away. Trading is a performance skill, like golf, like surgery. When you're down on the day, your brain is not in a neutral state. Your risk perception is distorted. The great setup you're seeing, it might be great, or your stressed brain might be pattern matching to what it wants to see, because it needs to be right. You cannot reliably tell the difference. Real talk. How many of you have kept trading after you were clearly down? Drop a number in the comments. Be honest. This is about identifying the pattern so you can break it. Okay, we've talked about protection, about keeping your losses small, about surviving. But here's where it gets interesting. Because the rules that protect you are the same ones that build you. the same discipline that keeps your losses small. It is also what makes you rich. And almost nobody connects those two things. Most people think defense is about not losing. I am telling you, defense is the engine. Rule 3. You do not scale up based on confidence. You scale up based on consistency. Confidence is a feeling. Consistency is a fact. This is where most intermediate traders stall. They have learned to control their losses. They are consistently profitable, but they are not growing because they are either too scared to increase size or they jump too fast. They treat scaling like a gamble rather than a process. You see it everywhere. One trader stays small forever, paralyzed by the fear of a red day, while the other doubles their size after one lucky win and burns the whole account in 48 hours. Neither one is professional. Here is the framework. You need 3 consecutive green weeks before you increase your position size, not 2. Not mostly green with one bad day. 3 clean, profitable weeks where you followed every rule. That is your proof of concept. When you hit that benchmark, you increase your size by 10 to 20%. Not double, not triple. Why so conservative? Because you are not just scaling money. You are scaling psychological pressure. You are scaling your own ego. A position that is twice as big does not feel twice as stressful. It feels 5 times as stressful. Because now you are watching bigger swings. Your stops hurt more. Your gains feel more important. All of that extra weight changes how you trade. The 10-20% increment gives your psychology time to catch up to your position size. It allows you to stay the same trader at a larger size. If you feel the stress, you have jumped too far. Get back to the process. And when you have a losing week, because you will, you step back down, not to 0, just 1 increment, back to where you were comfortable. This is not a failure. It is a surgical adjustment. This is how real accounts grow, not in explosions, in steps. Get this right, and the math does the rest of the work for you. Stay with the process. Next, we flip the perspective on what it actually means to win. Now I want to show you something that flips everything you think you know about trading success. Most traders measure success by their best day. Professionals measure success by their worst day. Let that sink in, because the goal is not to make money today. The goal is to still have money next month, and the month after, and the year after. If you cannot survive the drawdown, you do not deserve the payout. Your edge only plays out over hundreds of trades, maybe thousands. If you have a strategy with a 55% win rate, which is excellent, that means in any given 10 trade sample, you could easily go 3 for 10, or even 2 for 10. That is not a bad strategy. That is normal statistical variance. But if you blow up your account during that variance, you never get to the part where your edge pays out. You quit right before the math starts working. This is why the entire framework I'm showing you today comes down to one thing. Survive long enough for your edge to express itself. That is the whole game. Everything else is just noise. This is not just philosophy. This is how prop firms think. They give you capital, and they do not look at your biggest wins. They measure your Sharpe ratio, your max drawdown, your consistency over rolling 30-day windows. They don't reward heroics. They reward not losing, because they've run the numbers. And the numbers say, a trader who never loses big will eventually win big. Every single time. Stay surgical. Stay alive. Let me show you something that will reframe your whole relationship with small gains. Most traders chase the dopamine of a big win. Professionals chase the math of a consistent win. Take 2 traders, same $10,000 account. Trader A averages 2% per month consistently. No heroics, no blowups. Trader B averages 8% in good months, but blows up twice a year, losing 30% each time. After 2 years, Trader A has just under $16,000. Trader B, after 2 drawdowns and a couple of lucky months, still sitting around $11,000, maybe less. That is if Trader B doesn't blow the whole thing. Small, consistent, boring, wins. Most traders chase profits. Professionals protect capital. That is not a motivational quote. That is literally the operational difference between the 2 groups. One mindset builds accounts. The other builds regret. So let's bring this all together. Here is your complete capital management blueprint. Rule 1, never risk more than 1% per trade. Rule 2, set a hard daily stop at 2%. Rule 3, scale with consistency, not confidence. Markets are chaotic, but your response to the market does not have to be. Capital management is the hull of your boat. The market is the ocean. You cannot control the waves, but you can control whether you stay afloat. 3 rules. No secret indicator, no algorithm, just structure. Now, remember the invisible leak I told you about? Let's close that loop. Remember at the beginning, I told you there was an invisible leak in your account that almost nobody talks about? Here it is. It is not your entry. It is not your exit. It is not even your win rate. It is the size of your losing trades relative to your winning trades. Most retail traders, even ones with a positive win rate, are still losing money because when they are wrong, they lose big. And when they are right, they cut winners too early. So their losses average $300 and their wins average $150. A 60% win rate with that ratio? You are still losing money. Net, a loss of $300 per 10 trades. Fix your capital management, your risk per trade, your daily stop, your scaling, and you automatically fix this ratio. Because you start cutting losses fast and letting winners run at a consistent size, the rules solve more problems than they appear to. I want to be real with you for a second. Following these rules is not going to feel good at first. The day you hit your daily stop at 10 a.m. and have to walk away from a market that is moving perfectly, that is going to feel awful. The day you watch a trade you wanted to take, a trade you knew was going to work, and you did not take it because you had already hit your loss limit. That day will test you. But here is what I have learned from watching traders who make it. Discipline does not feel like discipline when it becomes identity. The traders who survive are not white-knuckling their rules every day. They have internalized them. The rules are not a constraint anymore. They are just how they trade. And that shift? It usually takes about 30 days of consistent practice, not 30 perfect days. 30 days of recommitting when you mess up, getting back to the rules, treating each session as a fresh start. You are building a version of yourself that can win. Now let's look at what is actually at stake if you refuse to change. And then we are going back to that oversized position from the very beginning. Here is what is at stake. If you keep trading without these rules, you will eventually hit a sequence. The market will hand you a losing streak. Every market does, to every trader. Without capital management, that streak will hurt you badly, maybe fatally for your account. With capital management, that same losing streak is just a bad week, a line item in your journal, a story you tell later. The rules do not stop you from losing. They stop you from losing so much that you cannot come back. They keep you in the game long enough to win. If what I showed you today shifted something for you, even just one thing, drop discipline in the comments. Not because I need the engagement, because the act of committing publicly, even in a comment, is one of the few things that actually improves follow-through. Save this video, not for later, now. Because the market does not care that you watch this. It only cares what you do the next time you open a trade. Send this to one trader who is struggling. It might be the thing that keeps their account alive. We are back here. Same moment, same cursor, same trade. But now you see what I see. It is not about the trade. It is about surviving long enough to take the next one. Next time you are about to place a trade, ask yourself one question. Am I trading to win today? Or am I trading to still be here next month? The answer to that question is your capital management plan. Trade smart or don't trade at all. Get back to the process. Get back to work.